It's here. The festive season has finally arrived, and with it, I give you the joy of returning 1940s Monday mukbangs into your life. And today's recipe is a real festive treat, because I'm going to be making for you a traditional 1940s Christmas dinner, but with a twist. Because yes, Christmas in the war-torn era of the 1940s looked very different to how we know it today, and the Ministry of Food would encourage people to get creative because those classic Christmas ingredients that we're all used to just weren't available to people, and so you had to get inventive. And that's exactly what we're doing today, because we're making mock turkey, which is about as similar to a real turkey as a cookie jar is to a pigeon. You see, the point of this recipe was to produce something that looked like a turkey, so that your Christmas table looked as festive and nostalgic as you always remembered. And here's the ingredients that you're going to need. 1 pound of sausage meat, chopped, 1 pound of breadcrumbs, grated, 2 grated onions, 2 grated apples. Apples again. What was it with apples in the 1940s? But to be fair, we have been proven wrong with apples before in past recipes when actually they made the dish taste amazing. 2 parsnips, 1 pound of bacon, 2 pounds of peeled potatoes, salt and pepper, and any seasoning that you want to add like sage or thyme. And as a little bonus for this particular video, I mean, it is Christmas after all, I'm going to be treating you to a 1940s dessert to follow up your 1940s Christmas dinner. And with that, let's don an apron and get cracking. Ho, ho, ho. So I think before I tackle the mock turkey, I'm going to start with the roast potatoes because they'll probably take longest in the oven. And in the 1940s, the Ministry of Food suggested fat-free roast potatoes, which were 2 pounds of peeled potatoes in a roasting tin, and then you put a pint of water over them, a dessert spoonful of salt, then you pop them in the oven, and allegedly you'd be left with potatoes that were fluffy on the inside and crispy on the outside. So I guess we'll see. Realised, I don't think the two of you have ever been formally introduced. This is Glenda, my late 1940s cooker that my mum found on eBay for a whopping £16. She lights with a match, and so we're going to make sure she's on gas mark 7 and get her lit and ready for the roasties. It's as simple as that. So I've heard on the grapevine that this turkey ends up relatively large, so I've opted for 2 mason bowls, and annoyingly I only had 1 onion, but that's fine because we'll season and I'm sure it'll still taste great. But what this recipe basically is stuffing. That's what we're making here, it's stuffing. So I've got my sausage meat, I'm going to chop my apples, chop my onion, and moulded turkey. Oh, Christmas is such an emotional time of year. Oh dear. I just have to reread the recipe to make sure I've got this right, because it does say 1 pound of breadcrumbs, which is basically an entire loaf. So technically bread was not rationed during World War II, but flour was, and so what the Ministry of Food tended to do was encourage people to have the national loaf that was made with wholemeal flour. But it was a very dense, dark bread that a lot of people didn't like. But for this recipe, you are fine to use brown bread, white bread, whatever bread you can get your hands on. Yeah, 2 mason bowls was definitely a good shout. Now comes the messy part. So we now have our basic turkey shape. The kitchen is an absolute state, but you know what? I don't think I did half bad on this. Like that's undeniably turkey-esque. Would you agree? But my favourite part of the 1940s, this is why I love this period of history so much, it was their initiative. And have a little guess what we're going to use for turkey legs. So now that we've got our adorable mock turkey, the recipe asks for a pound of bacon. Now that would have been the weekly ration for 4 people. So what people tended to do was on the build up to Christmas, they would pool all their rations together so they would have enough bacon to drape over their turkey and I guess give it a little bit of an extra meaty taste. So a pound of bacon is a lot of bacon. I mean, that alone is only 4 ounces. I think that would be enough to cover the turkey, to be honest with you. So I'm probably just going to see how I go with covering her and then see if I need to add any more. So our turkey is pretty much ready, but I forgot to say before, if you're vegan or vegetarian, then all you have to do is swap out the sausages and the bacon for vegan or vegetarian sausages or bacon, and it'll work just as well as this version. Okay, I think the roasties are done. So let's see if the Ministry of Food knows what they're talking about. You know what? They're a good set of roasties. They're crispy on the outside. They're really nice and fluffy on the inside. They taste great. No, absolutely 10 out of 10. Okay, we are ready for our turkey to go in. And what I've done is I've laid some foil over the top so the bacon doesn't burn. And I'll probably take that off about 15 minutes in, maybe. But it says gas mark 5 for an hour. She almost didn't fit in. So I promised you a bonus recipe and I'm going to deliver. And for this recipe, we're going to make classic 1940s carrot fudge, which apparently requires 4 tablespoons of grated carrot, orange squash, and gelatin. I'm also going to peel, chop, and boil some carrots to go with my Christmas dinner. Okay, it has been an hour. I've got the kitchen back in order. I have my fudge setting, hopefully, and apparently my turkey is done. So let's take a look at her. Ooh-wee! She is heavy. Oh, wow. She looks really good. Oh my gosh. She actually looks so good. I'm really impressed with her. I am so ready to tuck into this. I'm so curious about how it tastes and I feel like I've been at it all day. So let's dig in. Let's go for a bigger bit than that. Oh my gosh. Wowee. Oh my goodness. Ration who? Apologies for this, by the way. We actually have no wine glasses in this house. I've no idea why, but we don't. It tastes really good. It just tastes really, Really good. I would not be disappointed if this was on my table on Christmas afternoon. I didn't realise how hungry I was. Again with the apples. The apples really make a difference. It just, I don't know what it is, it just adds so much to the flavour. Man, those roast potatoes turned out well. My goodness. I'm not just saying this. They're probably one of the nicest roast potatoes I've ever had. Like, they are so, so good. Oh my goodness gracious. It's so clever really because it's filling even just this small amount. So, I mean, look at the size of that thing. You imagine how many people that turkey could actually feed. Like, it's ingenious really in a period where there was rationing. That would go so far. Stuffing used to be my favourite part of the Christmas dinner anyway. Stuffing and pigs in blankets. And this has bacon and sausage and stuffing. So for me, this is a complete winner. And you know what? It was cheap too, because all of the ingredients are very affordable, and even things that can be slightly more expensive, like the bacon, I didn't even use, I don't think even half of what the recipe recommended, and it still turned out great. So this would be a very affordable option for Christmas instead of buying, you know, bird to eat. That was genuinely delicious. And now I need to go and slump on a sofa somewhere whilst watching TV, or go and nod off whilst listening to the radio.
It's gonna be so good. Carrot fudge.
Yeah, it's going to be so good.
This is going to be great.
Oh my god.
Oh no, it might be awful. Cheers.
This looks miserable.
Okay, it's not actually as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, it's worse.
It tastes like...
It's like compost flavoured jelly. It's horrible.
You know what it tastes like?
How's that fudge?
Well, it said gelatin leaves.
That's not fudge.
But, you know, imagine you're in the 1940s, you need something like for a sweet tooth. This would be a viable option. It's not awful. Are you actually not going to have any more? That is not the worst thing I've ever tasted. You love carrots. You like carrots more than I do.
Yeah, but not mixed in jelly.
I think it's nice. It kind of tastes like orange squash if it was in a cube and frozen. Which is just what you want for your festive tea,
Wow.
isn't it?
Oh god. It's even worse than the second bite.
I don't think that's too bad. It's definitely healthy. Definitely a healthy option for a dessert.
It's not.
Yes, it is. There's not even any sugar in that. That is just carrots grated with gelatin leaves and orange squash. That is genuinely the 40s recipe that I found.
Yeah, because they all go well so together. The what? Yeah, because they all go together so well. Edit that out.
Imagine, you know, listening to the radio while you're munching on that. Breaks apart kind of weird. I think it could have been worse. I mean, it's set. No, it makes an awful sound. I'm pretty picky, and I'm eating it, so it really can't be that bad. All right, so you win some, you lose some. But, you know, the mock turkey was good. You're going to enjoy that.
It's a no from me.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
So there you have it, a traditional 1940s Christmas dinner, including the star of the show, the mock turkey. Thank you so much for dining with me tonight, and Merry Christmas!